And I actually texted Shedeur because I know him very well. And I said, dude, like whatever happens, wherever you go, like that's your first day. Day 2 matters more than the draft. I was 199.
Yeah.
So who could speak on it better than me? Like what that really means.
I think Shedeur Sanders ever starts a game for the Cleveland Browns. I don't believe he starts a game this year, obviously barring injury, which is the conversation you and I had. And if he doesn't get an opportunity to start a game this year because of injury and show something different than he was able to show this preseason, I don't believe they view him as a franchise builder, a franchise starter.
I know where I kind of want them to go. And let's not forget Shadow, okay? But I know where I want them to go. So there's certain cities that, hey.
Did Tom Brady just expose the real reason the Cleveland Browns don't trust Shedeur Sanders? The way this whole thing went down, from his draft slide to Brady's strange comments to the Browns stacking up quarterbacks like there's no tomorrow, it doesn't look like a regular rookie story. It looks like something way bigger is happening. Shedeur came in with heavy hype as one of the most talked about college quarterbacks. But when draft night ended, he had slipped all the way to the 5th round. When the Browns finally picked him up, fans thought it was his shot to silence the doubters, except the opposite happened. Instead of battling for that QB2 spot, he got shoved straight into QB3, behind another rookie, Dillon Gabriel. And to make it worse, the Browns grabbed Bailey Zapp for the practice squad, practically telling the world Shedeur wasn't even a priority. That's when people started connecting the dots. Why did Tom Brady hesitate the moment Shedeur's name came up? Why were NFL execs already giving Deion Sanders pushback before draft night was even over? And most importantly, how much of Shedeur's NFL seat is about talent, and how much is just his dad making sure his son stayed in the league? The first sign of it all showed up in the Browns' own quarterback room. Preseason made it clear. The backup battle looked like it should have been Shedeur versus.
Shedeur Sanders is officially on the roster. Ain't no way in hell he wasn't gonna make it. He also gonna be the 3rd QB. A lot of people mad. I see it as an opportunity. Think about it. Joe Flacco, old ass, he one snap away from retiring. And then you got Dillon Gabriel. Yeah, all them motherfucking interceptions he threw in that preseason. I know it's the preseason, but if he can throw it in the preseason, he damn sure can throw it in the regular season. All Shedeur got to do is sit back, watch his team lose, and they realize, oh, damn, we need a hero. We need somebody to come in here and save this fucking franchise. And would you look at that? Shedeur would be starting.
Dillon Gabriel, 2 rookies, both hyped, both fighting to sit behind Joe Flacco. But the Browns didn't waste a second. Gabriel got quarterback 2, and Shedeur got dropped to quarterback 3. That was the first big red flag. If Cleveland really thought Shedeur had the superstar spark his dad keeps hyping, there's no way they would have picked Dillon Gabriel over him. Then came the last preseason game. Coach Kevin Stefanski yanked Shedeur late in the 4th quarter and threw Tyler Huntley in for the 2-minute drill. To fans, it looked like the Browns didn't even want Shedeur to have a chance to shine. And if
And here's, I get it. That's okay.
that's how they treat him before the season even kicks off, why would anyone expect them to suddenly believe in him when it really matters? That's exactly why Tom Brady's comments about Shedeur hit different. They didn't sound like encouragement, they sounded like a warning. When Brady sat down on impulsive and got asked about Shedeur slipping all the way to the 5th round, he froze. Instead of defending him, instead of calling him underrated, Brady stuttered and went with the safe line. I wasn't part of the evaluation process. Now come on, this is Tom Brady, not some washed-up ex-player. He's part owner of the Raiders. He's personally close to Shedeur, and NFL execs actually value his take on quarterbacks. If anybody could have vouched for Shedeur, it was him. And the fact that he didn't, that silence was deafening. Then Brady doubled down with the classic use it as motivation speech. He basically told Shedeur that day 2 matters more than draft day. He even pulled out the line,
Where do you predict Shedeur and Travis going in the draft?
Top 4.
Ooh, that's pretty beautiful.
Anywhere from 1 through 4. One of them is going to be 1.
That's what I'm talking about.
One of them is
Let's
going to be
speak it
1.
into existence.
And the latter one would not go behind 4. Now, all this is subjective because I know where I kind of want them to go. And let's not forget Shallow, okay? But I know where I want them to go. So there's certain cities that ain't gonna happen.
Okay, you on point.
It's gonna be it's gonna be an Eli.
pick 199, so I know how this feels. On paper, it sounds inspiring, but really it landed more like a cold reminder. You're not special, nothing will be handed to you here. And Brady's actions already showed where he stood. Raiders GM John Spy admitted Brady liked 6th-rounder Cam Miller's arm talent.
He shamed all of them, including the Cleveland Browns, who finally took him in the 5th round. I'm convinced only because the owner, the publicity-starved owner, just wanted some more shock value publicity. Oh, we took him because he knew what would happen, that the national media would descend on Browns camp, make it a story that might distract the rest of the world from the mess that Jimmy Haslam has made of the Cleveland Browns, especially after he gave $230 million.
Proves Brady was in those conversations, and the Raiders still passed on Shedeur 7 different times. 7. So when Brady finally spoke on him, it didn't sound like support. It sounded like a warning. Be glad you even got a jersey. Now prove you belong. But then Deion Sanders made things even messier. His own mouth might have been the reason Shedeur slid so far in the first place. That infamous Dan Patrick interview still follows him, where Deion flat out admitted he wouldn't let Shedeur play for certain teams. He bragged that he'd navigate his son to the right destination, coming off like a dad trying to strong-arm the NFL before his kid even threw a single pass. And the league doesn't forget stunts like that. Execs don't like being told what to do, especially by someone outside their system.
You can't do that. You got to be able to control yourself, especially in that moment. I know the tight end, they was locked up a little bit. He was probably trying to roughhouse him a little bit, but you have to be able to control yourself. You got to be able to control your emotions, especially in moments like that, especially in a game. So, you have no choice. If you throw a punch, if anything, if your arm extends and it touches the other individual, you going out the game.
So when Deion went public with that kind of talk, insiders say it instantly turned teams against Shedeur. Instead of being seen as a top prospect, teams started labeling Shedeur as baggage, a quarterback with strings attached. Skip Bayless even said that was the turning point when the whole league caught on. So why did Cleveland finally pull the trigger after passing on him 6 different times?
Hey, just got to talk to you about, NFL is a tough business. Shallow had, some bad. It's just, have you talked to him and how are his spirits?
Oh, most definitely. He's my son. I'm proud of my kids, all of them. And I prepared my kids for any and everything that could possibly happen in life and in sports. That's part of fathering, that's part of parenting, that's part of having a relationship. So he is mentally where he needs to be, physically where he needs to be. We're praying that he gets another opportunity to go with a team. But if he doesn't, the plans have already been put forward to what he's going to do next. So Shiloh is a man of many talents. I don't know if you guys know, he's a man of many talents, and he's going to be straight. All the Sanders are going to be straight, with or without football. You better believe that. You better believe that. I take care of mine, and I've always have, and y'all know what I mean. You better believe that.
Times, that's where the whispers start. The theory is Deion had to sweeten the deal, whether with favors, leverage, or even straight-up payoffs, just to make sure Shedeur got drafted at all. And honestly, that matches Deion's track record at Colorado. Back in college, everything ran through him. Transfers, contracts, even the media spotlight. He always made sure his kids had the stage, no matter what it took. So it's not far-fetched to think he tried pulling the same strings in the NFL. But here's the catch. This league doesn't play those games for long. Execs might let something slide under the table, but they always get the last laugh. And the timing, brutal. While Shedeur was just fighting to stay on the Browns roster, Deion was already scrambling to fix another family mess. His other son, Shiloh, had just been cut by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right after getting ejected for punching another player in the final preseason game. One reckless move and his NFL shot was gone before it even began. And Deion knew it. At a Colorado press conference, Deion tried to play it cool, saying he was praying Shiloh would get another shot somewhere else. But even in his own words, he admitted it might not happen. Then he slipped in that line about how all the Sanders are going to be straight with or without football. And to fans, it sounded less like confidence and more like a dad trying to save face. That's when the pressure really started closing in. One son possibly out of the league for good, another sliding down the draft board. For Deion, who built his whole brand on being the flashy, in-control father coach, this wasn't just bad, it was a full-blown crisis. And Shedeur? His situation looked even worse once the fans got involved. People weren't just saying the Browns coach didn't give him a fair chance. Plenty of them flat out said he never deserved one. One fan kept it blunt. If you actually watched a Colorado game, he had a sack problem. He holds onto the ball too long, trying to make the hero play instead of the smart play. That's been his knock for years, waiting for the highlight moment instead of taking the safe throw. And in the NFL, that habit doesn't just get you benched, it can get you buried. That's not exciting, that's reckless, one fan snapped. Another even pulled out the receipts. I've been saying this since before his draft slide. He went 13-12 at Colorado with Travis Hunter. Bro was never ever an early round pick. And honestly, that stung. Because if you can't dominate with one of the best two-way players in the country on your roster, why would NFL teams risk an early pick on you? Other fans didn't even bother sugarcoating it. One said Shedeur should quit football and start a career in politics since his popularity is louder than his actual game. Then came the comment that cut the deepest. If his name weren't Sanders, he would have been cut. That ties right back into the bribe theory. Fans see it too. Shedeur isn't here strictly off raw talent. He's here because Deion made sure he had a spot. And now the NFL's in a tough position because it's not just about Shedeur failing. It's about Deion's whole image taking the hit. Execs didn't want to reward Deion for trying to manipulate the system, and they weren't about to hand Shedeur special treatment just because of his last name. And Tom Brady, he knew it too. That's why his little use it as motivation line landed different. He wasn't lifting Shedeur up, he was warning him. This league doesn't play favorites. If you don't perform, you vanish. Like, share, subscribe, drop a comment, and I'll see you on the next one.